Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
The Cope Open returns. Deonna Purrazzo makes her debut. The Ring of Honor World Six-Man Champ titles are on the line, and a six-man main event for the ages. This was AEW Collision review on the Hitting the Turnbuckle channel with me, your host, Adam Cousins. The Cope Open was straight away. I thought it was going to be Shane Taylor. But no, it was Copeland against Lee Moriarty. Another one of these youngsters AEW have got coming up. Adam Copeland working with these youngsters, giving them some television time is great. Copeland wins it with a spear. He took out Shane Taylor with an awesome spear, by the way, earlier on in this match. Perfectly acceptable opener. I was hoping a bit more from Moriarty on this, but I think the match in general could have benefited from a 5 to 7 minutes more, just to give him a bit more time on this. There was a part on this where Copeland was smashing some elbows on the back of his head, on Moriarty's head, and the referee was checking it anyway, which is interesting to say the least. Actually, and also Copeland beat him with the crossface, or now the groundhouse. Sorry, not the spear. He hit this big spear on Shane Taylor earlier on. He beat Moriarty here via submission. And just in case Christian Cage forgot, his Copeland is still coming from his scrawny ass. Which is interesting. You know, there was a part of the backstage where they were with FT Garcia. They don't know if they can coexist, but Garcia needs to be here in order to grow, apparently. The next match was this the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Championships with the Mogul Embassy against Lance Archer and the Righteous. This match just kept just like all over the place. There was lots of waiting around and just seemed a bit like convoluted, really. And out of nowhere, Lance Archer starts yelling at Jake Roberts. I couldn't follow this. There was a pedigree by Khan from the Mogul Embassy. They've got the victory, but it was just all over the place on this one. And I'm really a bit, just a bit off on this. On this. But Prince Nana got the mic at the end of it. He said that they're the greatest six-man of all time and have challenged the Bang Bang Gang to a match. So interesting on that one. The next match was Dustin Rhodes against Willie Mack. Dustin Rhodes finishes this one with a curtain call. Quite a short time on this one. Dustin looked great, looked fine, but I didn't understand where this match was going or what the point of this match was. It may become apparent a bit later, but I'm not a fan of throwing matches together without a reason. And AEW do that a little bit. But maybe a bit later on, we'll find out, and there is an announcement a bit later on, which perhaps gives us it. Would have preferred this happened after the backstage skit that happens, and we'll get into that in a minute. But Dustin helped Willie Mack up after the match. Hook arrived in the building. They're making a big thing about Hook. Obviously, Samoa Joe coming up on Dynamite this week. So interesting. Hook was in the building. We'll get into him a bit later on. The Bang Bang Gang accepts the six-man opportunity with Prince Nana. Now, Christian Cage was in the back with Dustin Rhodes. And Christian Cage letting Dustin know that he's a friend. A friend of Adam Copeland is no friend. And Dustin tells Christian to take the butt out of his voice. And Dustin wants the TNT Championship. And Christian Cage said, "It's quite a dream. Too bad his father won't be here to see it." That was just ridiculous. And it was there when Luchasaurus Kill Switch was going to get involved, and Dustin was basically said he's going to tap dance on that ass. But this is the point of, and I think it's happening on Dynamite, Christian against Dustin. That segment may have been better before the match with Willie Mack, so that it could have called it a tune-up match for Dustin or something along those lines. So it would have made the match made more sense had they done the skit first. But nevertheless, it's set up for Wednesday. It should be an interesting match between two wily old veterans. A nice surprise. Hangman Page was next against JD Drake of the Workhorsemen. This match was so good. And Hangman Page is more turned into Magnum TA. It's kind of a bit more of a fresher. Yeah, feels fresh now. It feels like this is a different Hangman from the Hangman of old, and the crowd loved it. JD Drake, it can absolutely go with anybody here. And I want to see the Workhorsemen take on whoever because they are really, really good. This match was great. Buckshot Lariat from Hangman Page picks up the victory. I am very big of the Workhorsemen. I really want to see them grow as a team as we progress through this year. And I certainly wouldn't rule out them winning tag team gold at some point, whether it will be later on in the year or the Ring of Honor tag titles or whatever. They need to pick up some tag team gold at some point because they are really good. JD Drake looks like he can go with anybody. So very good outing, a very good match. Deonna Purrazzo versus Red Velvet. Strong win here for the Virtuosa for the debut. It was she transitioned. She hit the Fujiwara before transitioning into a side armbar, forcing Velvet to tap. Really strong match. Strong debut for Deonna Purrazzo. Just tipping the iceberg of what she's going to do in AEW. A great acquisition pickup for TK and the team at AEW. Then Collision sended for Hook. Hook was going against someone called KM. You know what happens here. Northern Light suplex on the ramp. Another one. Hits Red Rum. He taps. It's over. Hook is strong going into Dynamite. So that's really where we needed to see, or all we needed to see of that. The main event of the evening was FT Garcia against the House of Black. This was all shades of awesomeness. What you can expect from these 3 or 6 guys, this was brilliant. I would have loved to see this match. I'd love to know what our good friend Dave Robinson thought of this because I thought it was absolutely brilliant. The match was finished by a black mass and a curb stomp from Matthews. The House of Black started attacking them after the bell. Then they threw Menard in the ring, who was doing commentary. He eats black mass. FT Garcia back in the ring with chairs to make the save, and there was a triple team shatter machine to Brody King. Really good main event. As with last week's episode, the main event delivered. I just feel as if, and I did say this to kind of show was all over the place. The Cope Open is really good because we're getting to see the younger guys come through a bit more. So I'm really enjoying the Cope Open. I really enjoyed the main event. The rest of it was just kind of like, I would rather we see, as I said before, with the Christian segment could have been done before Dustin went to the ring to give him that bit more motivation to get the victory over Willie Mack instead of the other way around. I just think the show would benefit a bit more from a bit more continuity and a bit less throwing people together, throwing matches on the card. So 7, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Good episode of Collision. Could have been better. Main event ruled. Cope Oakland was great fun. Guys, find us on X, on HTT Buckle, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on all other social platforms. We'll be back with the TNA Hard Kills review soon. But until next time, everybody, buckle down and stay safe.